Hey, I'm Broken Finn. You could just call me Finn. This is part 7. I won't make you wait any longer to see if Talon has the strength to rescue Suzie. You use the teleporter to Galvanost Tower once again, but turn toward the tower instead of the streets. You enter the electrified building and spot the boss. The Harvest Lord is a scarecrow. He has large clawed hands made of straw, supported by a stick. His robe is tied by rope in the center, and his pumpkin head has glowing, fiery eyes, one of the few lights in the dark room. There is electricity traveling through thick cords along the walls. They sound like bug zappers. There are 2 pedestals on either side.
I knew it.
Herkimer stones are being filled with electricity and transform into storm mastery amulets. The Harvest Lord places an amulet around a death ghoul's neck. The charm and his outfit electrify. What was a dusty, ripped black suit is now a lightning bolt-shaped tie, purple pinstripe pants, and electricity traveling along the shovel's blade. The crow on the Harvest Lord's shoulder turns an eye to you, then caws.
Ah, another soul to harvest. I knew my little prisoner would drum more to me. Like flies to a rotting pumpkin patch.
His voice consists of multiple voices talking simultaneously. His carved eyes squint, then reshape into circles.
Wait! My dark master warned me about you. Talon! You stopped the skeletal armies in Unicorn Way and Fire Cat Alley. Ah! Imagine the reward he'll give me when I present him with your very soul.
Help! Suzie is in the back, tied up with her knees together and her hands behind her back. Looks like the Harvest Lord hasn't taken her soul yet. You swing your wand, casting a myth trap on Harvest Lord. He turns to his crow and cackles. The bird squawks with him. Why isn't he casting anything? The rotted fodder minion uses his shovel to trace out a myth spell. The tall myth shield with an eye appears in front of the Harvest Lord. You throw out another spell, this time for the ghoul. A loose paper flies out in front of you and a myth symbol is traced on it in ink, then jumps off the page. A green troll leaps out of the symbol, landing on one knee and a fist. The ogre picks up his club and charges at the rotted fodder, club above his head. The ghoul backs up. He's busy dodging the swings. You pull Suzie's staff out of your bag and get ready to throw her wand to her. The Harvest Lord laughs again. His cackle is louder, crazier. His insidious sound conjures a fire spell. A cobra slithers out of the blaze and puffs up its hood. The neck has flame patterns that light on fire. The snake snaps at you as you throw the staff. Her wand clatters to the ground beside her. The troll conks the rotting fodder on the head and he falls down, once again dead. You send your myth imp after the Harvest Lord while you continue to defend yourself. The small blue pet scurries over, pulls out a stringed instrument and plays it while circling the Harvest Lord. The myth shield shatters, and along with it goes your myth trap. The freed Harvest Lord floats into the air. The crow on his shoulder leaps off and flies around the room, a trail of fire behind him, creating a large fire symbol. Your myth imp flies to Suzie and lifts up the front of her wand to her tied wrists. She shuffles her arms up and down, slowly cutting the rope on the sharp angles of her staff. The crow, satisfied with his flight, perches onto the stick arms of the Harvest Lord. The ground rumbles and mounds of dry dirt seep through the floorboards. A field of wheat sprouts out of the ground. The scarecrow bellows flames into the fields. You take some steps back as the wheat is consumed, but it's everywhere. You find a small patch of dirt that's safe. The scarecrow looms over you, his robe steeped in fire. His grin stretches, and his pumpkin head is inches from yours. He throws his body back while inhaling. You feel weak, like all the energy you had in your body is now leaving. Your knees wobble as you watch white wisps leap off your skin and enter his carved holes. He's knocked aside. Suzie pierced her wand into his hay-filled robe. Sparks zap his clothing. You fall to the ground wheezing. With the little energy you have left, you throw a card to the ground and press on it. A pixie bursts out. She zips around the room, green sparkles follow behind her and put out the fire. Suzie stands in front of you with her hands out. An ice and fire shield appears before you. She cast Thermic Shield. The small pixie zooms over, circles around you, and sings a short melody while spinning into the air. She's collected some of your soul back and healed you physically. Suzie helps you back up. A large fiery cat leaps from another fire symbol. The tiger-sized feline lowers its front paws and aims for Suzie. You jump in front of her and push the thermic shields against the cat's flaming claws. "We should combine our spells," Suzie says behind the shields, so only the two of you can hear. You share the cards in your hands. She points at one of your treasure cards and you point at hers. You both confirm by changing to fighting stances after the fire cat dissipates with the shields. The Harvest Lord roars, his eyes full of angry flames. You and Suzie cast spells together. The myth and storm symbols are layered. The myth symbol is covered in arcs of lightning, and the storm symbol is dripping in yellow sparkles. A spiral of clouds forms on the roof. A cyclops drops down, his hammer makes a dent in the floorboards. A swarm of lightning bats follows him through. The cyclops raises his hammer with both hands above his head. The bats circle the hammer, electricity flowing through them. A bolt of lightning blasts the hammer from the spiral storm. The hammer, now violently glowing, is launched at the Harvest Lord. His head is obliterated, flaming pumpkin guts splatter everywhere. Souls fly out of his smashed head and phase through the walls. A few of the splintered spirits return to your body. The crow leaps into the air and caws.
Ah! I am beaten, but my master's grand design is nearly complete. Wizard City is doomed! Ha 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 ha!
The crow soars past you through the entrance. You're both panting, adrenaline pumping through you.
You saved me.
Suzie leans on her knees. And you saved me. Now's not the time, though. We have bigger problems. Meet me outside, wizard. I need your help. You both leave, and the rain is pouring down. The weather is not in your favor. You and Suzie are drenched in seconds. She isn't wearing a raincoat either. She's not as prepared as her brother. I overheard the Harvest Lord's plans. She's shouting so you can hear her over the thunder and rain. He was raising an army of rotting fodders, armed with storm magic to attack Wizard City. But there's more. The Tempest Nexus up on the ridge channels storm energy into the tower, where it disperses the energy to all of Triton Avenue. The Harvest Lord is diverting the flow of energy to only this tower to enchant the amulets. The tower and the Nexus can't hold that much energy all on their own. They'll overheat. The Nexus is going to explode and take Triton Avenue with it. Let's use the teleporter by the mill to reach the Tempest Nexus. I'll meet you up there. You chase her through the storm. A thick fog is around your ankles. You almost get pelted by rotting fodder you couldn't see until he was inches away from you.
Suzie!
You shout. You lost her. Over here! You can just make out the outline of a waving hand after lightning strikes behind her. Take the teleporter. She pushes a stone into place on the platform and the teleporter glows. There's a swirl in the center. She steps on the platform. Her body floats up in small segments, then vanishes into stripes of lightning. You follow her and reconstruct at a small ledge. There's a massive copper coil, 3 times the size of the conductors at the mill. There's wires trailing off the cliff leading down to the galvanized tower. Suzie is pushing buttons on the panel attached to the rod. It's worse than I thought. The Nexus could explode at any moment. The controls are fried. I can't set it right. Professor Baelstrom made the contraption. Go ask him for help while I try to keep the Nexus stable. Hurry! She rams her fists on jammed buttons and jiggles levers and switches. You throw down a mark so you can teleport back here as quickly as possible. You port home. You don't feel completely present due to all the teleporting in a short amount of time. You burst out of the dorm and bolt through Ravenwood, leaving a trail of rainwater. You swing the classroom door open. Baelstrom's top hat hops off his head and he straightens his handkerchief.
Hello, Balance Student. Are you in a rush? The Nexus, it's going to explode. What? Oh dear me. Is that why the Griffin Banes never returned? We can't have that. Take me there. I have the master key.
He hops off the desk and leaps onto your back. His slimy hands cling to your clothes like glue. You hold your breath, hoping you don't lose yourself by teleporting again. Teleporting feels stranger and stranger. You're lightheaded and woozy. The world is spinning. You collapse to the ground and try not to melt into the floor while your atoms recalibrate. The Nexus is glowing and turning a neon red color. Suzie rushes over to you and shakes your shoulders. Are you okay?
I teleported too much,
is all you can muster. Professor Baelstrom turns a dial, plugs in a small panel, and flicks switches at a quick pace. The Nexus continues to get hotter and redder.
Cover your eyes!
Suzie puts her palm over your eyes. You can see from the corner a laser blast shoots out of the copper into the sky. Electricity travels across every cloud and thunder claps for an entire minute. Lightning strikes everywhere in Triton Avenue. It's a good thing the street is built to take lightning.
Phew! This is a temporary fix. Suzie, help me with the galvanized tower so that all the electricity is flowing into the street again. Give yourself a break. You've clearly been porting too much.
They leave the cliff. You watch electricity zap the Nexus a few times, then return to the tower. The streets have arcs of electricity traveling between them again.
We'll need to come back to fix this properly, but for now, this will do.
Professor Baelstrom taps his cane on the sidewalk.
Cheers!
A bolt of lightning strikes him and he's gone. You did it, wizard! Triton Avenue is saved! You didn't happen to run into my little brother Archer anywhere, did you?
Yes, he was being pushed around by haunted minions. I helped him to safety.
Thank goodness. Take me to him. He must be so worried. You both decide to stroll to their location, skipping as much teleporting as you can. Suzie's staff matches her height and looks like an electric trident. Her robes are jester-like, diamonds of alternating color. Her cape matches the shape, cut in triangles at the bottom. She has dirty blonde hair tied in a ponytail in the back. Her bangs clump in front of her ears. When they finally see each other, Suzie bounds toward her brother.
You rescued Suzie!
They connect with a tight hug. Suzie has to bend down so she's at Archer's level. I'm so glad you're okay. She opens her arm to you. We drove the Harvest Lord back into the shadows of Haunted Cave, and the storm energy is flowing again. I'm sure the storm classroom will go back to the high ledge and properly fix the temporary solution Professor Baelstrom and I rigged up. There's still a lot of undead roaming about, but without the Harvest Lord to direct them, we can handle them. You speak up.
So, the Harvest Lord said he had a dark master.
Suzie shuffles her feet. That's what he said to me. I overheard him talking to a few ghouls while I was tied up. I think he said Malistaire? He talked about keeping all the Lumina crystals and using them when the electricity from the street wasn't fast enough. Duncan appears shocked.
What? First of all, he's not even alive. Second, I don't know what you've heard, but you must be mistaken. Maybe the Harvest Lord is trying to deceive you two. Malistaire was a great man, the greatest necromancer of this age. Ambrose is responsible for what happened to him. If he hadn't...
Who even are you? Suzie shakes her head. Maybe you should hold on to that thought. For now, we should tell Sergeant Muldoon that things are calming down. He points to himself.
I'm Duncan Grimwater, necromancer. This is more important than informing Sergeant Muldoon that the street has calmed down. I'm going back to investigate what brought me here in the first place. A massive surge of death magic. The Haunted Cave is a powerful nexus of death magic.
It could be the source of all the undead troubles plaguing Wizard City. The rotting fodders and scarlet screamers kept me from reaching the cave before, but now that their boss is gone, this should be easier.
He turns to you.
I'm asking begrudgingly. With your help, I think I can get to the end of the street. The cave's across the river, at the far end of Trident Avenue. Let's go investigate so we can track down this Dark Master and redeem Malistair's memory.
Duncan whistles and 2 bat wings attach to his back as if he had them all along. He hops off the ground and begins flying in the air.
Come on.
You both ride down the street.
Can you believe all of this? Everybody just wants to blame Malistair for what's happened when he's not even here anymore. Everyone's just saying that because a death wizard is easy to blame. A lot of people mistake us necromancers as evil. I was his best student.
He stares down the street. His eyes are glossy.
What about Malorn Ashton? What about it? I work so hard to live up to Malistair's name. I wasn't there when it all went down. I was with Dworgen in the class on a field trip in Dark Cave. People think he planned it. Sent away all the students so none of us would get hurt. What do you think? I don't believe any of it. I think Malistair was trying to stop someone from taking the death classroom. He has a lot of enemies. He's protected Wizard City for generations of students. I think he died in the crossfires, protecting Ravenwood like he always has. Merle was the only one who witnessed it, and he's keeping his lips sealed shut. Professor Drake has saved so many lives. He saved me on my first quest. I went up against a rotting fodder. I wasn't going to make it. I was too ambitious. He blasted the ghoul away and healed me. That's why I've always looked up to him and aspired to be him. I want to save people like he does, selflessly. Here we are.
He gasps. You both study the gate. The bars are ripped apart by force rather than unlocked. They bend away from the entrance in an arc. In the pitch-black darkness, you can make out a few small red eyes in the distance.
I was right. Haunted Cave is open again.
He runs a hand along the stone and whispers,
It's been sealed for ages. This certainly explains all the undead. Who could have done this?
His volume comes back to his normal level, which is almost grumbling.
Malistair helped cast the spells that sealed the cave so long ago. If only he were here, I'm sure he'd fix it.
He flies with his bat wings into the cave. You follow him through. The inky black leads you to a dim cave. Groans and the sound of water droplets echo throughout. All the buildings' lights are off, as if people once lived here but have abandoned their homes. The roofs are covered in stalagmites. The gargoyles that protect the entrances argue and bicker with the dead roaming the streets. Ghouls slide their 3-toed, clawed feet across the cracked pavement. Some of them are digging up graves. Their Herkimer stones are the same here, storm mastery amulets. You can hear a crow cackling in the distance. You can only assume the cackling is from the remnants of the Harvest Lord. You inhale, about to speak, but Duncan interrupts you.
I know you and Suzie think Malistair's behind this, but that's just impossible. Someone's impersonating him, and we need to find out who that is. Those field guards, if you fight them, I can examine their auras. Maybe I can see who summoned them. I'll give you some tips, I'm sure you need them. Aim for the crow that sits on their shoulder. Trust me, the crow is actually the one calling the shots.
Since he was right about the rotting fodders taking a first step, you plan to aim for the crow. The field guards fight like the Harvest Lord, passing their first turn. Knowing scarecrows hit hard, you shield yourself. The enemy sends out a simple thunder snake to take out your shield. You throw out a scorpion, but without precision, the scorpion misses the crow on the field guard's shoulder. He cackles as he casts a storm of lightning bats. They attack you from every angle. He's so fast. The weakness you place on him is too late to protect you. The field guard passes again, winding up for another strong hit, but you figured he'd do that and send another scorpion his way. Duncan was right. When you take out the crow, the whole enemy falls apart. You'd wished you had known that when you fought the Harvest Lord. That fight would have been a lot faster.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but you did well fighting those field guards. They're even stronger than I thought. And I saw something dire in their auras. They're minions of Lord Nightshade, one of the darkest tyrants in history. He was sealed in here ages ago.
He takes off his hoodie. He has short, tightly curled black hair.
I can only assume he's free now. There's a tower deep in Haunted Cave. We need to check if he's still there. Someone must have broken its seals and freed the Harvest Lord, Rattlebones, and Lord Nightshade. And still a Gravewind. Ah yes, the talk of the undead. The opera singer that puts the dead back to rest. Yes, her. If we can get closer, I may be able to sense echoes of the rituals that opened the tower, and we can finally find out who broke the seals. Let's go.
He puts his hoodie back on and you follow him, trying not to look at the spooky surroundings. You can hear clusters of bats on the ceiling. You both sneak under the robe of a field guard. You shiver. The field guard, even with a flaming head, is cold like a lost soul. The gargoyles reach out to scratch Duncan. You both make it to the bridge just across from the graveyard. He crosses to the tower but stops in the middle of the bridge. He scoops up dead leaves on the stone. He runs a finger along the ashen wall.
This can't be.
He drops the compost and his eyes search around. Field guards turn to him. The crows on their shoulders eye him, their beaks in the air.
What is it?
Your eyes bounce between Duncan and the field guards.
I don't think we can stay here much longer.
I need more time.
He bites his lip and reaches for his pet, who has been clinging to his back. He scratches under the pet's ghostly head. Duncan squats near the ground and flattens a hand on the stones. Black sludge emerges and the bridge bubbles, as if it were a potion in a cauldron. His eyebrows frown.
No. No. No!
He shouts at the floor. The field guards float toward the both of you.
Duncan?
I can sense the portal and the spell that opened it. I'd recognize the magical response anywhere. Malistaire!
His lip quivers.
You were right. Malistaire's alive and he's turned on us all.
He clutches the skull in his robe. A tear rolls down his cheek.
He's trying to destroy Wizard City. But why?
We've gotta go.
The scarecrow's smiles stretch as they surround the exit to the bridge. Duncan stands up.
I've got to warn Malorne, acting Professor Ashthorne, and then I don't know. What can we do? What can any of us do?
He disappears in a cloud of smoke and skull symbols. He teleported away without you! The field guards giggle as they float onto the bridge. You can't escape. You port to the commons. Guess you aren't going to check if Lord Nightshade is still in the tower. You search for Duncan, but can't find him. You assume from the way he's acting, he's panicked. Instead, you go to Sergeant Muldoon.
Muldoon! Oh, my Bartleby, Triton Avenue was going to explode!
Muldoon's eyes practically pop out of his head.
What? Is Triton Avenue okay?
Well, it's fine now. Professor Billstrom knows.
Jeez, kid! You almost gave me a heart attack! So, is everything sorted?
Yeah, the enemies on the street are weakened.
Alright. Thank you for the report, Talon. Next time, start your report with the good news. Will do.
You sigh and teleport to the commons once more. Penny waves to you and runs over. Hey, you're back! Can I see your notes? You hand them to her. She skims over them. Ha! You tried to do got your nose on a skeleton? Other than that, I had pretty similar results. Let's call this study successfully reproduced. I'll take it to Headmaster Ambrose and Professor Ashthorne right away. Thanks, Talon. She digs the toe of her skull shoes along the ground. I wrote a letter to my parents that I arrived safely, but I haven't had the chance to send it. What with the not arriving safely and getting lost in Old Town thing, which is okay. It gave me a chance to add some stuff about Malistaire. He was my parents' favorite professor and an old family friend. I vaguely remember having dinner with him and his wife when I was a toddler. Did you know he once drained all the life force out of a troll to regrow a limb, then raised the troll from the dead to fight an ogre and save some students? He was a hero. My whole life, I wanted to be just like him.
I know someone like that.
Duncan immediately comes to mind. Seems like a lot of Death students aspired to be Malistaire. Penny never had him as a teacher, and she still wants to be him.
I think he's behind unsealing the caves. I think he's causing all this.
What? I can't believe he'd do that. I wish I just knew why. Anyway, sorry, would you mind taking my letter to Prospector Zeke and ask him to deliver it next time he's in Marleybone? You've passed by Zeke plenty of times, but hadn't had a chance to chat with him. He's an older man that relies on a walking stick. His red beard is almost as long as Merle's. He's got one eye closed, and you wonder how it got that way. A woman with rectangle spectacles always has an arm wrapped around his. She dresses like a pilgrim with a lacy white collar. Any students who walk up to her asking for free items get whacked with a wooden spoon. They both have matching bands on their left ring fingers.
Can you deliver this letter to Penny Dreadful's parents in Marleybone?
You ask.
Why, sure, young'un. I'd be downright tickled to deliver that letter. I run a sort of postal service to fund my many wanderings through the spiral. Say, now that I think of it, I just came back from Marleybone. Got a package for a one Miss Penny Dreadful. You know what? I was about to trade you the package for the letter. You take yours back to Miss Penny, and I'll take mine to her parents. Off you go now.
You go back to where Penny had been standing every time you see her, but she isn't there. There's a small book on the ground with Penny's name engraved in it. This is her spell book. Why would she leave it behind? There's a bookmark sticking out. You open the marked page. The more I think about Malistaire, the more it doesn't make any sense. Why would someone so good suddenly turn so bad? I just wish I could ask him. If I could find him, maybe he'd tell me. I know he used to live in Dark Cave before it was sealed. Maybe he's hiding out there right now. I'll go through Cyclops Lane to get there. I'll leave my spellbook here, just in case I'm wrong, so my new friend Talon can come help me. Penny Dreadful.
Of course she left her spellbook behind.
The one thing she needs to defend herself. You rush over to Cyclops Lane, spellbook in hand. I appreciate anyone that watched all the way to the end. The wizards behind me are friends I've met along the way. Shout out to Penny, Jack, Cecilia, and Talon. Yes, a different Talon. I must also mention Pacnake. He does all the male-presenting voices. That's Pancake with the N and C switched. Next episode will be in Cyclops Lane.